Welcome to the Selling Trust Podcast with Nathan Mark. Did you know you're 10 times more likely to close a deal with an existing client than a new prospect? Today, we're diving into the Mark method to help you transform transactions into lifelong partnerships and build a referral flywheel that works for you 24/7.
Hey, Nathan Mark here on another episode of the Selling Trust Podcast. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations. Happy New Year. It's 2026. You made it. We got nothing but opportunity ahead of us, and we got nothing but growth and learning and hopefully stuff to tweak our new year off of behind us. So with that being said, let's talk about New Year's, right? Resolutions. Yeah, it's so cliche. It's the new year. Let's make some new goals, some new resolutions. My pastor the other day, while he was preaching, kind of like touched on this, and it was an excellent sermon, and it was about moving in action, right? We can have all the greatest ideas in the world, but if we don't take action and move forward, then we don't really have anything. Additionally, our past success does not determine our future success, right? Old wins don't equal future success. So, one of the verses that he read out of, which was really good. Some of you have probably heard it before. I'm going to read it to you right now. It's James chapter 2, 14 through 17. It says, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or a sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, keep warm and well fed,' but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if not accompanied by action, is dead." Verse continues on and elaborates on this, but for this point that I'm trying to make, we need both, right? We need faith that what we're going to do is going to work. We need faith in ourselves. We need a robust mindset, right? We need grit. We need to know that difficult things are going to happen, and we need a plan or the decision made right now that if things get hard, we're going to keep on going. That's great. That's our faith, right? In our ability to progress and in our skills. But we also need action, right? And that piece is tough. That is a scary thing, right? Because the big boogeyman in the closet is failure, right? And I think one thing that a lot of us struggle with is the idea of failing, or the idea of being embarrassed, doing the wrong thing, asking the wrong questions, looking foolish in front of others. These are all things that are very common to struggle with, and yet these things are momentum blockers, right? They stop us from stepping out and taking action, and whenever we don't take action, we slow our ability to achieve things, right? With that being said, don't be afraid. And I know that's easier said than done, but failure is it's something that exists. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's the currency of success, right? That's one of my favorite sayings. I think I'll pull this up on the phone real quick. Thomas Edison, smart guy, famous guy, right? Did some cool stuff, made some neat things, light bulbs, nice. Thomas Edison put it really, really well. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And what he's alluding to there is he's constantly learning, right? Even in failure, we're learning what not to do. And the more times we figure out what not to do, the closer we get to what to do, what will work. But the only way that we can experience failure, the only way that we can experience growth, the only way that we can take a step towards success is by action. Do you have a plan? Have you sat down and have you thought about, where you're going to go and the steps that you're going to take to get there? It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be a 1,000,000-page document saying and having all the details covered, but there's got to be a plan, right? And once you get the basics down, once you get the framework, once you get some semblance of a plan, don't make it complicated, right? Make it easy, keep it simple. Complexity kills momentum. But if you can make it simple and you can execute on it, then you can start moving forward, right? It's funny. One of my old bosses, he actually got fired, and I guess that's not funny. But the reason why he got fired is kind of amusing, right? He went to a sales planning managerial meeting, and he showed up and he had the exact same slide deck as he had the previous year, right? And he basically gave the same exact presentation verbatim to the entire group of managers that were there. And at the very end, he smiled at the audience and he said, "Yep, and I know what some of you are thinking. This sales plan is the exact same sales plan as we had last year. And to you, I would say, you're right, except for one thing. We're just gonna do everything better than we did it last year." Now, I think that's hilarious. Nobody else in that room thought it was hilarious, and subsequently he was terminated. But I would argue that he is more prepared than a lot of people going into the new year, especially a lot of salespeople going into the new year, because he had a plan, albeit it was a year old, it was outdated, right? But if there were foundational things in there that were needed to just continue taking steps forward, that's still better than nothing, right? So not only do we need to have the right mindset, not only do we need to be thinking about the plan and having the plan, then we got to take action, right? Just because we have done something well in the past, I said this before, doesn't mean that we are guaranteed success in the future. So we really need to think about what we're doing. We need to be intentional with what we're doing. We need to pay attention to the things that are happening around us. And if we need to tweak things that we're working to make them work better, or if maybe we were doing stuff that we need to drop off, right? We need to be mindful about that. With that being said, I wish you guys an incredibly prosperous year. I hope it's great. I hope you sit down and are able to come up with a plan that is realistic, a plan that has achievable real goals, right? If you haven't ever heard of SMART goal setting, go look that up. It's a wonderful framework to do goal setting, but make your goals simple, make them concise, make them measurable, make them actionable, make them time-bound, right? Use SMART goal setting and don't overcomplicate things. Make it simple and then just do it, right? Nike slogan, just do it, right? It's a beautiful slogan because it gets rid of, do it if you have the perfect plan. Do it if you've thought of all the contingencies. Do it once you've achieved X, Y. No. Just do it, right? Just do it. And then pivot, right? If it doesn't work, pivot again. And if it doesn't work, pivot again. And so you will find success. Even through failure, you're gonna find success. And the more that you fail, the more that you are going to be pointed in the direction of success as you make those course corrections and make those changes. Hey, listen, if you want to talk to someone about your new year, if you want to talk to someone about goal setting, if you want to talk to someone about maybe you're stuck with analysis paralysis and you can't get out of your own head or get out of your own way and actually start executing, on what you're trying to accomplish, If you don't have your own accountability buddy, hit me up. Let's talk. You know, I would be very interested in working with you to get past where you're currently stuck, right? It happens to the best of us, and sometimes all we need is a little spark to set off the dynamite, or a little bit of motivation to make us get up and go out and do the things that, you know, we kind of don't want to do, but we know we need to do. I'd be happy to talk to you through those things. Additionally, as always, if you got comments, I'd love for you to leave them. If you got feedback, if there's other things that you want me to talk about, happy to hear them, happy to incorporate that feedback into future episodes. So with that being said, I wish you an incredible new year. I wish you a ton of faith, and I wish you a ton of action against that faith as you move forward in your sales journey in 2026. And I can't wait to hear about some of your results. Take care, and I'll catch you later. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Selling Trust Podcast with Nathan Mark. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with a colleague or visit nathanmark.com to download your free copy of the Revenue Event Cookbook. Keep building trust and transforming relationships. We'll catch you in the next episode. See ya.